Hey everybody, welcome into Strictly Speaking. You're going to be glad you're here today. A very strong departure from some of the heavy stuff that we talk about. Now we're not talking about heavy stuff, we're talking about heavy hitting. That's what we're doing today. We talk to authors, we talk to politicians, we talk to poets, we talk to football players. We've never talked to somebody who smacks the living hell out of other people for a living. But that's what we're going to do today. Watch this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it.
Not only did he knock the hell out of him, he looked down at him and pointed when he was being counted out. That is one of the biggest stars in the world of power slap. He is the king of kings, and he is in our studio today, right here on Strictly Speaking. Yeah, he calls himself the King of Kings, and he's got a pretty good reason for doing so. His name is Ryan Phillips, power slap superstar, joining us here on Strictly Speaking in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. He's a Northeast Ohio guy. Ryan, bro, wow. It is so good to have you here, man.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, man, this is so much fun. I got to tell you, I'm a huge boxing fan, have been from way back in the day. I became a huge UFC fan when it exploded a little bit. I'm a newcomer to power slap. And when I say newcomer, I've been watching mostly not like the full events, but I've been watching the reels. Anytime you're flipping through TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, oh, here's a power slap reel. That's the one you click. And thankfully, the algorithms then keep feeding me more of it and more of it and more of it. So I know enough to know that it is badass, but not a heck of a lot more. What I want our viewers to do today is to learn a lot more about this whole thing and obviously about you. So it is just such a great treat to have you here. So on your bio on the Power Slap website, I love getting hit. You said you've got like the greatest, my chin is world class. I love getting hit. Who the hell says I love getting hit? What's the matter with you?
I don't know, man. It's something that I guess I was born with. I could take a hit, that's for sure.
How'd you find it out?
Through various experiences throughout life. I got 40 years on this earth, so I've been through some crazy experiences, and it all culminated into what we have today.
Did you have a lot of playground fights as a kid?
Playground fights, yeah. My mom was actually designated the lunch lady, so she could take care of me and keep me out of fights. But yeah, I was always fighting in school. I had a lot of teen angst, I guess you could say. Yeah. And lived on the beach in New Jersey. I'm originally from Manasquan, Wall Township, New Jersey. I was right on the border.
Okay.
So we had a locals only mentality. So when we were on the beach, people would come on the beach, and it's our duty to make sure that they're not having a good time. They stay away. So a lot of fights came from that, but I'm just a brawler, man. I've been in a lot of street fights, and I know I could take a hit. I know I could dish a hit, and this is the sport for me, man. I'm perfect for it, and I'm just glad to be here.
It's funny because what you're talking about, your flex there is your chin is world class. You love getting hit, and I can take a hit. And I'm a brawler who can take a hit. Most people, like if they want to flex on their fighting ability, it's I got power, man. I can knock you out with either hand. I can do some damage to you, but you're just like, I can absorb it. Yeah. I can absorb it and not have it affect me before I can take you out. I mean, has that always been your way?
Well, it's at the time, I believe the chin is probably the most important aspect of this sport. If you can't take a hit, then you don't belong here. So I'm proud of that. I could take a hit. I'm proud that my chin is world class, as I said, and I proved it time and time again. Currently, I'm 1 for 3 in coin tosses, so I haven't been able to hit first in a while here. My first match, I hit first, but I've been hit first every match since then. But you could add power to that list because I'm the #1 in power, force, as well as hand speed.
How they measure that?
So they have what's called a power cube, which is a cube set up on a wall. It's like a cushion with sensors in it, and you hit it. With us, we did it with there's like a motion sensor that you hold on to. It's like a cord that goes into the ground.
Okay.
And it gauges your velocity, they call it.
Okay.
So you hold that, and bam, you hit this pad, and it shows the force of your slap. And my force was 56,000. It's 56 and some change. But that's the highest in the league. Vern Cathy is the second best, but he's also a legend in the sport. But just for reference, Brian Shaw, who's the world's strongest man, went up to our Performance Institute and actually hit the cube himself, and he only got 52,000. So I hit
You're
harder
stronger, or at least a harder hit anyway, than the strongest man in the world.
I know I'm barking up the wrong tree. It's Brian Shaw, but yeah, apparently I do.
I'm picturing Drago in Rocky IV, when he's punching the, whatever the hell that measurement was, and he's setting a new record every time he hit it or whatever. So it's kind of like that, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's on my Instagram, there's a video showing me hitting it and them talking about it as well. Confirming that I have.
We might just have to find that before we're done here.
No problem.
I'll set our Ryan to digging that up. But what you just said is, the chin is the most important thing to have in this sport. It's probably the same thing in boxing too. Did you ever fight?
Yes, I boxed. I actually trained boxing out of Strong Style MMA in Independence, Ohio. And yeah, it's pretty much the same, I guess you could say, but with us, we're not really defending, although we are defending. A lot of people don't see it, but with me, I make adjustments, while I'm on the stage. So I'm biting down as hard as I can. I'm taking a breath in to, it mediates the blood flow and the oxygen, the blood, so it doesn't rush to my head and I get knocked out. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of science, little bits of science involved with striking and defending. So I kind of treat it as boxing as a sweet science per se.
It's really, it's freaking fascinating when you think about the goal here. The goal here is I'm going to make you go semi-unconscious before you can make me go semi-unconscious. But we're not slipping. In other words, I hear critics say this is barbaric. And they say it's just completely Neanderthal and whatever, and the other people say, well, what about boxing? But as you just pointed out, and as a boxing guy, this, boxing is hitting and also avoiding the hit.
Right.
Here, you're not avoiding the hit. You're saying freaking bring it.
Right.
And so there's no way to avoid it. It's part of the game, and it's just I can still hold my equilibrium better than you can right. before one of us falls over. So I have to ask, are you worried about concussions? Are you worried about how many of them you can take before you can't do this sport anymore? Mm-hmm. Like doctors and neurologists and the people that are trying to cancel football because they're idiots say that if you have 3 concussions or more, I think they're idiots, 3 concussions or more, then you can't play football anymore because it's too dangerous. It could lead to CTE and all these other things. But in your case, you're literally getting hit 3 times a match and hoping you don't get a concussion. So is there, how do you deal with that?
With me, there's no fear. The King of Kings, I go up there to dominate. I go up there to embarrass my opponents. And I go up there to be the king. Once the lights are on, I go up there, I take the heart out of my chest, rip it out, and I give that primal scream. It's lights out. You can expect nothing but chaos, and I don't feel anything when I'm up there. So, I think I formulated a great defense to where I won't have that problem of getting a concussion. My noggin's harder than a rock, man. You're gonna have to hit me with a 30-mile-per-hour steel beam to knock me out. So no, I am not worried. But yeah, for others, it might be something to be a little aware of. There's a lot of intricacies that are involved that if you're not afraid of getting slapped, you're probably going to be able to take it if you just aren't scared of it. A lot of the guys you see get knocked out, they're trying to move away from it. They're scared of it. But with me, I no fear. I just take it as it is. I take it as a slap. It's not a punch. It's a slap.
Right. Right.
So I take it as a slap, and I'm just confident within myself.
Do guys in this sport, though, whether they be King of Kings or not, do you have regular checkups with neurologists and stuff like that just to make sure you're all good?
Yes, absolutely. Every time that we go for a fight or any time that we need anything from Power Slap, they have the best medical staff around, and they know where to get us, checked up. And yeah, every match we get checked up, and they'll take precautions if need be as well.
We went to the Power Slap socials, and Ryan, I don't care which one, pull up some of those social, the TikToks or tweets or whatever you've gotten of some of these. We want to see the King of Kings, Ryan Phillips, in action here a little bit. We opened in our little intro there with your knockout of I don't know the guy's name that you did there, but we've got some other videos here that we just kind of want to show people who are not familiar with Power Slap exactly what you do and how you do it. So let's watch some of this.
King of Kings, Ryan Phillips from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm just the son of a hardworking father. You know, my mother, one of the most wonderful women in the world. Fortunately, they're not around anymore, but you know, I'm doing it for them, and I'm someone that's got a good heart, but you know, if you get me on that one side, it's a bad day for you. I'm here for legacy. I want to prove that I'm the baddest man in the world. I want to be the one. I want to set the tone for everyone else in this sport and create this sport to what it should be. You're just going to see intensity. You're going to see the slap of the gods from the King of Kings, baby.
Power slap has just taken over. It is just, I mean, seriously, and you're doing it. You're part of the reason for that, and that's phenomenal. How'd you get started in it? I know you said you fought a lot and you did a little bit of, MMA style training and boxing, but when did you first say, hey, I want to go do the slap, the power slap?
Yeah, well, it came about out of nowhere. You saw a video of the Russian dumpling. He knocked out a way smaller guy with crazy tattoos, blacked out eyeballs. It was just crazy. But seeing that video, you're like, holy crap, what is this? It totally turned me off. I thought it was a joke. I'm laughing. It's horrible. Me, I'm a big video gamer. I like video games.
Okay.
So I stay involved with the culture. I watch a lot of YouTube. And there's a guy on there that I watch. His name is Moist Critical, or Charlie. And he started watching Slap Fight Championships. And now you're starting to see the sport evolve. Slap Fight Championships brought it to America, gave it weight classes, gave it rounds, rules, things to make it more or less in line with the sport, because beforehand it was just a 300-pound guy getting up there. They shout to the crowd, hey, who wants to get slapped by the big guy? And a couple fools are like, hey, let's go get it, you got a 300-pound guy going up against a 150-pound guy at that point. So, it's now more in line with being sporting. So, I started watching it more and more, and started getting familiar with some of the athletes, like let's say Darius the Destroyer, who was unstoppable at the time at 17-0. You have Wolverine, who was just taking out all the competition, had 2 belts under his name. Frank the Tank, a legend, has more than 20 fights. I was watching these guys, and I'm like, man, I could do this. Back in my day, I went a bunch of rounds with the buddies at a bar, getting a little sauced McGost. And, we took a couple whacks at each other. I went a couple rounds, more than probably 16 rounds with different people at McCarthy's in Avon Lake when I was around. So I knew I could do it. This was back in 2008. So I was like, man, I could do this. Maybe I should go and challenge the Wolverine. So I commented on one of the YouTube videos from Moist Critical, and the guy from Slap Fight Championship found it and said, hey, sign up. So I signed up. Unfortunately,
how long ago are we talking about here? What year?
This is around COVID.
Okay, so 2020.
2020, 2021. Right. And I was like, hey, let's get this going. But unfortunately, I was looking at a promotion for work because I have a day job as well. So I couldn't take off the time, unfortunately. So that stifled me from competing with them. But I still trained. I still had the fire in me. I still wanted to compete. Out of nowhere, a friend of mine, he said, hey, man, I'm friends with this guy. His name is Gary DeFranco. He's the executive producer for The Ultimate Fighter. He's out of Cleveland. And he knows my friend, and he just dropped him a bomb, said, Dana White's about to start a slap fighting league. You know anyone who's good for it? And my friend's like, I got someone who's perfect. WWE, he's got the personality, he's tough, because he's seen me fight. And the rest is history. They signed me up, and next thing you know, I'm in Las Vegas, thinking, not much of it, because they told me it was the UFC, but the rest of the guys who were there, they didn't know it was the UFC. So I was kind of questioning. I was there really primarily for a free vacation. I didn't know anything of it, but it turned out to be this big thing. I'm fighting the main event with the one-eyed wolf, as you just saw there on TV, and here we are.
Phenomenal. Now tell me. I got a billion questions for you about just what you just said, but
sure.
How lucrative is this? How well does it pay?
Yeah, it's very lucrative.
Yeah, I mean, because I know, like, you know, WWE, that's it's a different animal altogether, and I get an idea of what UFC makes. But power slap being so young, I would imagine it's probably, you know, it's going to grow even more in terms of what you guys can earn.
Oh, absolutely. You know,
is it by the victory, or do you make the same amount whether you win or lose?
Yeah, it's you get show money, you get victory money, you get bonuses if you do well. My last match, I got a bonus against Nate Bernard.
Is he the one who was DQ'd?
No, that was Darius.
No, that was Darius.
That was Darius the Destroyer.
Okay, we got to talk about that too, because I want to talk about the rules and clubbing and everything else. I want to get into all of it.
Absolutely. But no, I got a bonus with Nate Bernard. It's lucrative, man. A lot of people, you know, they don't talk well. They probably think that you know, we're not getting paid or we're not taken care of by medical staff, right? They all have something to say, but the truth is, I'm living the life right now.
Yeah, you are, and you have the personality to go along with the chin, man. I mean, first of all, where'd you come up with King of Kings?
Well, I was actually called the King of Kill amongst my friends because of Halo 3. I was very good at Halo 3. When it came time to give nicknames, they came to me and I was like, man, I can't call myself the King of Kill because, you know, this is going to be a big thing. You know, I definitely want to be, you know, kind of a role model, not necessarily, but, I get it. You know, a role model to some people. And, you know, I toned it down. I said, you know what, King of Kings, why not? You know, not thinking anything of it that is Triple H's nickname or Jesus. You know, people are
That's the first thing I thought.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
King of Kings. I mean, you're crossing, we're getting close to the blasphemy line here, but I don't know.
I totally
I see a cross on your bracelet, so I mean, is that a cross? I mean, is that
That's a sword.
I get it. I see it going all the way around now.
Sword.
I don't know if we can turn that to the camera there, but you can see it looks like the cross, but I get it.
There's two swords here.
The swords.
So these are my weapons here. My hands are my weapons.
And I want to say thank you for the gift, by the way, because I want everybody to see that too, if you can see. And on the back of this one, we're going to go here. Yeah, that's Ryan's logo, the King of Kings logo. You can see the sword through his teeth and his face, and then King of Kings on the back, which is just awesome. Now the problem is I need two of them though, because I need one for the shelf to rep on the show and one to wear, man.
I got you.
But no, you have more than the jaw and more the chin. You've got a personality that is very WWE-like. And does Dana encourage that? Does he want you guys hey, I need you guys to develop some, heel, baby face kind of things going on?
Really, it's not up to him how I should act.
Okay.
He's pretty free form on, what we can do or what we can say. I mean, you see people like Sean Strickland. He's causing all sorts of commotions.
Yeah. I happen to love him.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's great. But this is me, honestly. It's really just my personality. Sometimes I'll increase it to 1,000. Sometimes I'll pull it back because not only am I representing Power Slap, but I'm also representing Nordson, which is my day job. So I like to toe the line a little bit. When it's time to get crazy and start talking some smack, I'll do it. I'll back it up as well.
I'm guessing you don't wear the man in black and the shades and Nordson when you're on the day job, right?
Well, no, but I do work from home, so
you can wear whatever you want.
Could be a robe, could be the king crown. I don't know.
So you said an important word just a few minutes ago. You said you got back to training, and I'm thinking you're slapping the shit out of somebody, or they're slapping the shit out of you. How do you train for that? What's training mean?
Yeah, with any combat sport, you want to weightlift, you want to get your power up, you want to get your strength up. With your slap, there's a lot of muscles involved.
Okay, that makes sense.
Coming from the ground up, you gain a lot of power if you have that proper form. It's just more than standing there and just slapping the guy. You got to generate force. So how can you generate force? Well, you got to get the torso twisting in, your hips. You can launch with your hips. Your shoulders, you got to make sure, your shoulders are swaying back and forth. But with the rules, you can't move your feet. So you have to practice that without moving your feet. You got to hit things. You got to, get the targeting right.
I was just going to ask you about that strategy-wise. Is there a target that is desirable to hit, that is more likely to make them lose their, like I said, their balance or equilibrium?
Yeah,
Are you allowed to hit them in the temple?
So
or has it got to be down here?
So that's the thing, is it's not really a desire. It's more or less you want to stay within the rules,
Right.
Because there is a zone. I mean, from here, the jaw, to all the way up here to right about here is the green zone.
Okay, so if you come up higher than that, like I said, at the temple, which is a pretty good way to knock somebody out, that you can't do that.
Right. So that's where a rule called clubbing comes into play. So if you hit anywhere, here's another thing too, is yes, you can hit in this space, but this part of your hand can only go so far past the chin. So your chin's right here, it can only go right to here. That's it.
So, for obvious reasons, this is like the hardest part of the hand,
Right?
And you can get a lot more force. In fact, let's watch. Is this the one with Darius? Darius the Destroyer. Now, give us a background on him. You said he's like the most well-known and successful guy.
Very respected. He was a coach of season 1. A great guy, great kid. He went 17-0, which is unheard of. I mean, he beat 17 guys in a row to get where he's at. Some of these guys were maxing 300 pounds. So this guy is a legend. But yeah, he's hailed as the greatest of all time of the heavyweights.
Now, when I was watching this, it said this was your first match in like a year, right? You had an injury?
Yes, I actually tore my bicep tendon completely off.
In competition?
It was during the show, Road to the Title Season 1 on TBS. So I tore it in training 2 days prior to my actual fight, but I still fought.
You fought with did you win?
So what happened?
You can't generate a lot of force with a ripped tendon, right?
Well, I didn't use this hand. I used my left.
You can go left too.
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
No, I mean I know you can, but I mean you have the ability to go left and generate that kind of power too.
Well, that's I
know they ask you whether you want to go right or left, but I didn't notice any in any of the matches I've seen. I didn't see any lefties.
Well, with Dwayne Crespo, I went left because I blew my bicep tendon out. But the crazy thing is that I actually entered the house thinking this was going to be my only weapon, whereas I had also a tear in my forearm on my left hand.
Holy!
So I went in with 2 weapons, pretty much dead, and I said, well, there was a couple things going through my head. You didn't see it on the show, but that fight was the very last fight of the season.
Really?
It was the main event of the whole entire season, the only heavyweight fight of the season in the house. So I didn't want to let the promotion down. I didn't want to let my opponent down because that's his payday for him.
Sure.
And I said I'm gonna go on my chin, go on my sword, and then go out there and see what I can do. And I almost knocked him out. People say that if I didn't, because I unfortunately fouled on my first slap. I wasn't used to.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
It's like writing with your left hand.
Right.
I mean, can I aim? First, I got to generate some kind of force with my offhand, and then that aim, what you just said, the strike zone and the way your hand. I mean, it'd probably be pretty tough to do.
Yeah, not only that, but I took the first slap as well from Dwayne. So you got hit by a 260-pound train for your first hit. That's gonna rock you a little bit. So that was tough. But. I did the best I can, and like I said, I got a really good strike off on the second one and wobbled him, knocked him back a couple steps. But people are saying if I didn't foul that first one, I probably would have won the match.
Wow, that's with the left. So anyway, that knocks you out for about a year. You have surgery, I assume, to repair that tendon. So you're out for a year. You come back, and the first guy you face is a legend, as you described him. I mean, how the hell did that happen? Did you pick him, or did you handpick that, or how does that work? Can you challenge people, or did they pair you up?
So before I started this whole thing, I was I like to talk a little smack. I like to get people riled up, get in their heads, and I like to cause a commotion. I think that gets the eyes on the sport and eyes on me, and I'm gonna do it. So in the beginning, before I entered the house, I said, because Darius was undefeated and he was a coach, I said, you know what, I'm going to be the first person to take that O. I'm going to be, it's going to be 17-1 when I meet Darius. And, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to spark out the greatest of all time. I'm the king, And I posted up a video, and it pissed him off. It pissed his manager off.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but when I got the call, even myself, I was like, oh, geez, thanks for giving me a chance here, and coming back from the injury. First of all, this injury, it takes about a year, for it to heal.
Yeah.
I came back within 7-8 months.
Wow.
So I came back sooner than expected. I'm going to be honest. I probably was 50% while fighting Darius. But I'm up for the challenge. Any challenge that comes my way, I'm going to go at it full force. I'm going to do the best that I possibly can. I'm never going to give up. I'm going to, have that confidence that I can win regardless of anything. And I'm going to put on a show for you guys.
So Darius the Destroyer, undefeated. So you're like somebody trying to take out the Undertaker in WrestleMania. The streak, and nobody's breaking the streak, and Brock did.
Well,
you did here.
Well, no. The unfortunately, Darius, when he came to Power Slap, he was 17-0, but he had matches before me.
Oh, gotcha.
And he unfortunately lost those two. So he's 17-2 here. When I fought him, but still a threat. The guy's got a chin. He's fought. The only people he's lost to are Wolverine, who's the greatest of all time. He beat him 3 times. So he's like, Darius is great. He's a mega power.
Well, I'll tell you what. That's so. Anyway, this is what we're going to watch here a little bit of. This is now. Is this the actual DQ part, Ryan? Yeah. We're going to watch here. Okay. So this is what, the second round, I guess, his third strike. This would be his third strike, so third round. You didn't even get to go your third time because of what happens here. So I want you to explain it to us. Let's watch it, and then you can take us through.
He needs to redeem himself. He needs to pull.
Right hand on 3.
And Michael, I think he's also trying to do some showmanship to show that the slap is not affecting him as much.
Yep. 2.
You knew it immediately.
Jab.
Look at the king. Look at the king. Now you knew it immediately. That's disqualification because it was the second time he did it. What did he do?
Well, he was off target, and basically he karate chopped me in the neck. Not only the first time, but the second time he karate chopped me in the neck twice. So I don't know.
So two clubbings is a DQ. So he did it. He did it as his second strike. Then he did it again, and so then you didn't even you didn't have a chance to hit him the third time.
Yeah, I didn't get to hit him a third time, which probably would have resulted in a knockout because with this match.
That pissed you off? You didn't get to finish it?
No. I mean, this guy's my friend, and I don't want to go up there, and I don't want to really. I do want to hurt people, but I don't want to hurt people the same. It's such a catch-22, I guess you could say.
So you think he was off his aim? He didn't do it on purpose?
No. Hopefully not. You never know, because of what I said in the beginning. You never know if he's trying to put me out. But it's very peculiar that someone with the experience of Darius would do something like that. So
2 in a row, 2 straight shots.
Yeah, and they were both kind of the same. It was as you can tell, he's not hitting like this, because you're supposed to hit flat hand. He came in with a karate chop to the side, so he was trying to hit my artery or do something.
Yeah, he hit your carotid artery. That's going to drop you.
Yeah.
You can see why it's illegal. Let's watch it one more time there. Look at that. Oh my God!
It's straight to the neck.
It is exactly what you just said. You could see his hand turn. Yeah. It's coming as an open hand slap, but it ends up turning sideways to. There it is. Look at that. Freeze that. Look at that.
Nowhere near my chin. Just go straight for the neck.
Right for the neck.
Look at that, right in the neck.
And right with the outside of the hand. Yep. That is a chop. That is exactly what it was. And you knew it immediately.
Well, yeah, you don't feel anything on your face. It's all your neck. You're like, Jesus, man, what are you doing?
So take what I also find interesting when I watch you, and I encourage people to do this, to check you out on your social medias and watch as many of your fights as you can. You kind of do that. You do a squint, and do you hold your breath? And is that like something that's common, strategy for taking the blow, or is that just something that's instinctive, or what?
Yeah, it's something I've learned. I'm a very analytical person. I love science, and obviously this is all science. So there's some things involved with my defense. I don't want to give away too much because that's my passion.
I get it. Yeah.
But what I'm doing is I'm taking a deep breath. They say, oh, he takes a deep breath, but what I'm really doing is I'm trying to bite on that mouth guard as hard as I possibly can. I don't want my mouth, my jaw, my head, or anything. And when I'm biting down too, it activates your neck.
Yep.
So it gives you stability. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I put in a lot of thought in my defense, my striking, everything. It's more of a thinking game than one would think.
Yeah, you know, you're exactly right. That is exactly right. Because people, again, who see it and just say, well, it's just two, guys using brute force and, the primal scream and then, but there's no thinking involved. But you just said there literally is a science. You have to know everything that you just said about the brain and about the neck and about strengthening it and so forth. That's probably part of the training too, right?
Absolutely.
You do a lot of neck work.
Oh, 100%.
I know back when I played football, we did a lot of net work and, of course, neck work. And, of course, the mouth guard is important because of what you just said. If you're clumping down on that, if your teeth clang together, during a hit, you're probably going to get your brain scrambled a little bit.
Exactly.
So that's important too. So,
Yeah.
Tell me what you do to train for the offensive part of it.
Well, for offense, I mean, there's numerous ways you can train.
You probably don't have sparring partners to be volunteering to take shots from the King of Kings, right? So what do you hit if not people?
You can hit the punching bag. You can hit the wall. I mean, hitting a wall strengthens your hand. Develops calluses, things of that sort. What I hit is I have a leather bag with steel BBs inside the bag. So when I hit, the BBs form around my hand, and it creates pressure and it makes the blood flow come to my hand. So it not only does it harden the hand, but it also widens my hand and lengthens it, as you can see.
Holy cow! Look at the difference. Yeah. I don't know if we can do that. Point at that camera one over there and look at the difference in the size of his hands. His slap hand versus his offhand, and you still almost want to fight with that left hand.
Right.
It's like half the size.
Right. So there's training there. That's actually kind of a secret. I'm sorry that I gave myself away there. But with defense, you have this thing called the Jazzercise, a company called Jazzercise that you put this tube toy in, and you're like kind of like it's like a dog toy almost for people. But strengthens the jaw. You hit dummies. You can hit what's called a bob, which is kind of like a human-like torso with a head on it. You can slap him around.
I've seen that. Martial artists train against those sometimes. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Somebody said you hit watermelons.
I've dominated a watermelon. There's a video on my Instagram of me.
Oh, is that what it was?
One. Yeah. There's multiple ways. I mean, it's not as complicated as it seems, but it's definitely very intricate what you have to do in order to gain this type of power.
Yeah.
It's very involved.
Your bio there at the beginning, that little clip we played, you said your mom and dad are both gone.
Yes.
I don't know what the rest of your family situation looks like, but I'm curious. What do your family or the people who are closest to you, what did they say when you said, I want to go do slap fighting for a living?
There's not too much communication between me and my family, unfortunately. I did tell them what I'm doing, but really, I don't think it doesn't really hurt their soul or would, really affect them if, I don't know, if anything happened to me. I don't know. My family situation is not the greatest.
Oh, no, and I didn't mean to pry on that at all. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you tell somebody you're going to go do like one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, or you're going to go into a thing where you can get yourself knocked out and sent to a hospital, and you're going to do that for a career or for a sport or whatever. What do the people who love you the most have to say about that?
My friends and my family, my closest friends, they all know me, so they know this is tailor made for me.
They knew you were the king before you ever even started.
Absolutely.
This thing, right?
I mean, this is just it was perfect. I'm a really tough guy. I don't start fights. I'm usually the guy who helps a friend or, am somehow targeted because of something or the other. Whether it be I'm too good looking or whether I'm with a good looking girl. Everyone wants a piece of the king. So, it's good to be the king. Let's just put it that way.
You got a little Ric Flair in you. That's what you've got, which is just awesome. You mentioned Triple H, but this works too. So, tell me about what you do in between fights. In other words, like boxers generally, they'll fight like every 6 months, especially if they're a champion and they got to defend, it's like every 6 months or whatever. In that period, there's a deceleration time after a fight, then you ramp back up and then fully train to get another one. How often can you do this? How much downtime is there between fights?
Yeah, it really depends.
When you haven't torn a bicep and are out for almost a year.
Yeah, it's like I said, it really depends on the match and the damage that you take, I would say. I'm lucky enough that my last 2 matches, I came away scot-free. I was not damaged at all. It was maybe
You didn't look like you were hurt at all from Darius.
Not at all.
You got the destroyer there smacking you, and even with the illegal chop thing or clubbing thing or whatever, you just kind of smiled at that and said, "Is that all you got, really?"
Yeah.
So in other words, if you don't absorb a lot of damage in a fight, you can get back at it pretty quickly then.
Yeah, I mean, they'll give you, the normal probably 10-day suspension from the athletic commission, just to take it easy. But after that 10-day suspension, all systems go.
Are all the fights in Vegas?
So far, yes, they had. We're expanding, however. We're looking at California. We're looking at Hawaii. We're looking at also New Jersey, my hometown. So
I was going to say, back in the Badlands of Jersey, your hometown.
Yeah.
So are there more than one league? Is there more than one league, or is Power Slap owned by UFC Dana White That's the king? That's the top?
Yeah, I would say that Power Slap is the king.
Okay.
There's no one else out there putting out slap content like we are. I mean, I myself have over 500 million views on the internet throughout my career right now, which has only been 2 years.
Holy crap!
So
that's crazy.
So yeah, it's we're the king. We're the slap kings. I'm the slap king. This is the promotion. There are other promotions out there, but they're lesser known. You don't see the type of engagement that you do see with us.
Let's look at some of that engagement real quick, Ryan. Oh, you got some training stuff up there too. We'll look at that in a minute, but look at this. Look at this. This is the Power Slap Twitter feed. Or X feed or whatever. Look at the people coming to watch the King of Kings do his thing. Tom Brady, Travis Scott, Tom Segura, Brett. I don't know Bert.
Bert Kreischer.
Kreischer.
Yeah.
I don't know
Tom
who that is.
Segura. They're both comedians. Very famous.
Oh, okay. And then who else we got down
there? Johnny Manziel there, baby.
Mr. Johnny Football in the house. Pat McAfee, David Njoku from the Browns, Charles Barkley and Chuck Liddell. I mean, you got some A-list people out there.
Absolutely.
And Johnny Manziel. Sorry.
Good guy though, Johnny. He hit me up. He's a good guy.
Well, are you Giants or Jets or Browns guy? Since you lived in Jersey, but you came here.
So it's a sad story with me in football. I'm a guy who likes to gamble. I'm a guy that takes risks, right? That being said, I have 2 of the worst football teams I could. I got the Jets and the Giants. But now we got the Browns over here, and I'm a Browns fan now.
Okay, good.
I'm converted. Yeah, I wasn't too much into football when I was in New Jersey. My mom and dad, they weren't really into it. My dad played football.
Okay.
But they weren't much to sit down and watch a game. But until I came out to Cleveland with this, this sports world, you guys are so involved and invested in your teams. I got sucked into it, and now I'm a Browns fan. I'm a big Cavaliers fan. I love the Cavaliers. Just went to a game a little while ago, and they're crushing.
Have you met any guys, any of the other pro athletes around? I mean, do they know? I mean, obviously they're coming to watch you guys fight. Do you have any?
Well, locally, no. I did meet Johnny Manziel for a second, and Charles Barkley, of course, too, as well. I got to hang out with Santonio Holmes, which I know is a little enemy territory.
Yeah, but he's a Buckeye first. He was a Buckeye before he was a Steeler, so it's all good around here.
There you go. Good. So, yeah, shout out to Santonio Holmes. He's a friend. I got to meet him.
One of the greatest catches in Super Bowl history.
Yeah, you know it.
God, that's
so
crazy.
I'm blessed with being able to reach out to him and being like, "What's up, Santonio?" So yeah, I've met some great people, and there's influencers. You got people from the YouTube spectrum.
Yeah.
That are they got 2 million crazy followers, you know,
Yeah.
big time people that you wouldn't necessarily know unless you were in their world. But yeah, I've met a lot of people.
Yeah, well, you know, and you've got the personality for it. Going back to the Manziel thing, though, I mean, it was like 14, was that around the draft time? Or I used to do sports radio, and I was all about Johnny Football. And I was like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, that's terrible, taking him in the first round. And I was pulling for that kid.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to do something special, and he just couldn't get out of his own way.
Yeah,
you know,
he you know, a lot has come out recently about Johnny and, you know, the demons that he had
exactly.
to deal with and things of that sort. And I'm sure that had a lot to do with his performance with the Browns. And he said it himself.
He could have had such a good career, and he knows it too. You know, I mean, he knows
Yeah.
he blew what opportunity he had because he couldn't, like I said, you know, get over his demons or whatever it was.
But honestly, it looks like where he's at now is in a much better place. He's back in the spotlight, not afraid to talk about what he went through, and hopefully, you know, he's a stand-up guy, and hopefully he, you know, his words help other people.
How big do you think this can grow?
The way it is now, big, very big.
I mean, MMA size, like UFC, full-on UFC, not the power slap division of UFC.
I can see it. The live event, because the event we just had, Power Slap 6, was the first live event that we were selling tickets to the public. And with that, it seems like this thing has just skyrocketed tenfold after just that one event. So the more and more live events we have with actual audiences, and, you know, once we start opening up to, you know, the normal world and, you know, people that work the 9 to 5 and the everyday man, because right now we have basically just celebrities there. But I think it's just going to explode.
If you had boys, I don't know if you have kids or not, but if you ever had boys, would you want them to get involved in this?
Well, with my coaching, yes. I can teach them how to take the hit and, you know, not get injured.
And hopefully pass, you know, the genetic chin down.
Yeah, you know it, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So with that being said, yeah, I totally would. It's lucrative. I'm sure by that time, too, it's going to be even more lucrative. You know, I've gotten about 3 raises without even asking so far. It just keeps going and going and going. So,
because, you know, the same haters that hate football also hate MMA, really, quite honestly. And you know, it's too dangerous, it's too barbaric or whatever, and they're going to do the same thing here. And that's kind of the reason I asked, because, you know, I was football my entire life. My kid plays college football and all these kind of things. But then you hear the doctors out there saying, you know, football, and in fact, even some retired players saying, you know, there's no reason to play football until you're like in high school. Don't play it when you're younger or whatever, because it's just too dangerous. So everybody's got a problem with anything that is, I don't know, difficult. Anything that's difficult and anything that is hard to do, a lot of people just feel like nobody should be able to do.
I mean, that's the climate today. You know, a lot of people don't want to see others succeed. They don't want them living out their dreams. A lot of people just sit there on the internet and are getting miserable because they're watching other people live their lives where they're not. So I believe, you know, it's just the climate. You know, we've got to get people out there. I want everyone to be happy. You know, I go out there to entertain. You know, I put on a show for everyone.
You do that too.
Yeah, to make sure that, you know, people are having a good time. But you know, to the haters, a lot of the hate comes from people that are ignorant to what we do.
Yeah.
So I believe over time, you know, they're going to learn more and more about the sport. You know, doing interviews with you, Bob, you know, this could help with people to see, you know, a different side of the sport. But at the end of the day, you know, I am a pro athlete.
Yes, sure.
I representing Power Slap. You know, I want to make sure that I'm a clean fighter. I don't foul. I don't hurt somebody. You know, we have good competitive matches, and I want to be a good representation, not only for myself but for the city of Cleveland, the state of Ohio, and also my company Nordson. And I just want to do big things.
What are your bosses and coworkers, and what do they say about all
They
that?
love it, man. They're excited. They're
Probably your number one
Oh,
fans,
the
right?
slap guy. You know, my vice president calls me the slap guy. He doesn't know my name, but he knows me as the slap guy. So. You know, they
I hope you correct him and say, you mean to say King of Kings, right?
Hey, I'm
Come
the
on.
king. No, actually, I want my paycheck, so I'm staying cool there. But no, they, like I said, they love it. They think one of the girls, because I didn't really want to tell anyone. I didn't know how they would take it. You know, know, you
Yeah.
kind of want to walk a fine line.
That's the reason I asked the family question. How do you tell people, you know, like, this is what I want to go do, you know?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you don't know how they're going to take it. So what did they say the first time?
So all of a sudden, I got a message, and they're like, Ryan, is that you on TV? Because not only that, but they showed me, well, here too, they showed me on a commercial during the Super Bowl. So I was on a Super Bowl commercial for local Fox News.
Right.
And everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? I'm like, oh, yeah. They're like, what? You know, going crazy. So, but I think what it is they see it, you know, okay, it is slap fighting. But then again, you attach a name like Dana White on top of that.
Yeah.
And then it gets serious. You know, Dana White is a serious figure. This guy can take a bag of coal and turn it into diamonds. So,
Are you like on a friendly basis with Dana White?
I'd like to say so. Yeah, I
Okay.
can. There's
I don't know how
sometimes
much he knows his fighters or his people.
Well, this is the cool thing is that he didn't really know me, and then all of a sudden I made him know me. You know, so you know, I message him sometimes on Instagram, and he'll message back, and it's pretty cool. A lot of fighters in UFC and a lot of fighters in Power Slap as well don't get that privilege, but I'm lucky that I do.
Do you cross over with any of the MMA guys in UFC? Like Stipe, of course, is a Cleveland guy as well. You know, maybe the greatest or one of the greatest heavyweights in the history of UFC and MMA. So, like, you know, Conor McGregor, you know, the biggest names. I'm like, do you guys kind of?
Well, you know, I don't know Stipe personally, but I do have trained at his gym.
Oh, okay.
So I've run into him. I've run into Jessica I, who's also a big figure in Cleveland fighting. I've run into her. You know, I've run into a bunch of major local heroes.
Do a lot of those guys? You know, we just saw some of the names of celebrities who come and watch. Are they watching? Are they coming?
They're watching. They're watching, but we haven't opened up pretty much to the public yet.
Okay.
We're just coming around to that, so I'm hoping that once we open the doors, that of course they'll come.
Yeah, you would think they would. They would be all about it. And I wonder if there's not going to be crossover there too, because sometimes you'll see like some of the MMA guys going in and fighting. I should ask you how you feel about the Pauls. You know, Logan and Jake Paul and those guys who are doing things. You know. But a lot of times they're going from MMA to boxing, and I wonder if there might be MMA guys who say, I want to do some power slap.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There has been. There's actually been movie stars that have contemplated going into power slap. We had one guy who was a part of the Jackass crew.
Yeah.
He was actually going to compete, and he was serious about it, but he backed out last minute. Probably because he saw some highlights, but
He saw the king.
yeah, no, that's true. You see the one-eyed wolf in the King of Kings match. That's a brutal match to start off with, and that's what a lot of people's first match was. So, you know, that may have turned him away, but yeah, there's. I've hung out with. I was in a sauna with Jamal Hill, who's a light heavyweight champion of UFC. He's fighting on UFC 300 main event. Hung out with him a couple hours the other day or the other week during the event. You know, I think a lot of people are like on the fence. You know, it's like,
Well, it's still new. You just started it in COVID, like you said.
Right.
I mean, you know, and I would imagine the bigger it gets, the more crossover and mainstream appeal it's going to have. I don't know if it's ever going to be on ABC's Wide World of Sports in the middle of a Saturday afternoon, but it's mainstream as UFC, or at least that should be the goal. I'm sure Dana's not investing in this just to keep it small time.
you know, what's really strange is I think it's already been on the worldwide sports.
Has it?
Not ours, but
Right.
you know, another promotion.
Right.
I think
Okay.
it has, because I mean, it catches your eye. You know, like I said, we got millions upon millions of views. My video crushes UFC athletes. Like I went 2 million views in 3 days. So it's like I mean, we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere.
How long can you do this, though? Could you say you're 40 when
Yeah.
we started talking?
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're 40 and you're a boxer, you're past your prime. You're pretty much at the end of your career. Wrestlers can do it a little bit longer because things are a little bit different. And I'm talking about pro wrestling, WWE. But when you're a fighter, an MMA fighter, and you're 40, and I mean, I think Stipe is, what's Stipe, like 38 or something like that? And he's like, you know, I'm just pretty much done.
Yeah.
But what about what you do? You're just starting it at age 38, 39, and away you go. How much longer can you do it?
The King of Kings is timeless. The King of Kings is immortal. I could do this till I'm 100, baby.
Dude, I love that. It's just awesome. So you can do this. I mean, pretty much as long as you keep passing the neurology tests.
Absolutely. Yes, that's what I
Are you? You know what? You know how you said you kind of tested this out a little bit over a couple of drinks at McCarthy's.
Sure.
You're not allowed to drink or anything when you're competing, are you?
No, absolutely not. We're actually very.
Because that could numb the pain of a slap a little bit if you
I'm sure
had
it could,
couple
right?
before.
Hey, yeah, a couple of howler heads, you're good to go. We're not even allowed to have caffeine in the locker room. So they test us. They make sure we're not on any sort of performance enhancing drugs, no illegal narcotics or substances that the athletic commission doesn't want. We're tested and it's strict.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, and I can understand why. Like I said, because you could take something to numb the pain. Even if you just, I'm gonna take 8 ibuprofens before the match. I'm not even gonna feel your sting. A thing that you bring like that. Is it generally when you get rocked? Is it like dizziness or is it pain from the actual strike and the slap? You know what I'm saying? Or is it just a matter, because you see some of the guys standing up and they're just wobbly and you could tell they just had like I said, their equilibrium for a brief period of time is enough to throw them off. Yeah. Is that what it is? Is that what really is a victorious blow is when you just literally knock somebody out?
Yeah, well, I mean, victory comes in a lot of ways in power slap. So while as that slap that concusses you or rocks you, it'll give you a good look to the judges. If you knock the guy out, obviously, it's over with. But a lot of people say that it's the brain that's causing that, but it's a lot of spinal too.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of nerves in your spinal cord. Obviously, it's the messenger bringing all the receptors to your brain, making you move and things of that sort. But some people clinch so hard and they tense their neck that when they get hit, all that force is going straight to their spine. So that's where that
that's the science you talked about. You need to know that before you do it.
Yes.
But what I'm asking is, like, what makes a good strike that doesn't knock somebody out? Like when it goes to the judges, what are they looking for? I got 3 guys, or 2 guys, I should say, who just slapped each other 3 times. None of them knocked the other guy out. How are they? Like in boxing, the judges can go by, ring control. They go by, number of punches thrown, the number landed, power punches. There are a lot of different ways to score a round. How do you score 3 smacks?
Yeah, it's basically what you said. If you get like wobbled, if you get knocked down, if you're showing signs that the slap was pretty bad, and then you're like, oh wow, or something, like that. But if you after your round where you make that mistake of either moving out of the box or showing that you're hurt, if you give a slap back to your opponent, your opponent goes, ha ha, is that all you got? That's a 10-9 round. You just lost that round. So it's basically how you take and absorb the slap.
Okay. But that's and that's something that you can kind of control too by how you respond to it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I feel like when I watch you, and even the one against Darius, you take a shot even if it hurts, it's like that didn't bother me. You kidding me? In other words, you got to sell to the judges that I'm not hurt, even if it hurt like a mother.
Yes, 100%,
you know what I mean?
100%.
So there's a mental aspect to winning these things too.
Yes, exactly.
Did you find those on his Instagram, Ryan? If you did bring the okay.
Do you need help with me finding stuff for you? Because I could tell you which ones are which. There's the one.
Look at you doing the fake handshake too.
That was the Ric Flair strut right there on the left. I did the Ric Flair, and then I got up and knocked him out.
Well, let's see it.
Good up here, bro.
Shut up here.
Shine,
You look
bro.
too good
Look
up
at him
here.
go. Yes, sir.
He is enjoying the moment.
Yes, sir.
That's how we do it,
Bro,
baby.
you bring personality and talent to this.
That's how it is.
That's how you grow this thing.
Yes,
It's
sir.
phenomenal.
That's how you do it. Yeah,
Holy
keep going
cow.
down. So you're gonna find one that has like me in front of a graph.
Oh, there's the logo. There's the logo that's on my hat now.
Yes,
That's
there it
behind me.
is, yep.
Look at that. That's freaking badass.
Very cool.
I'm sorry.
Looks like me.
Who designed that for you? Do you do that too?
No, I do. I can do it, yes.
Yeah?
But some guy I know. There's Brian Shaw. There's Brian Shaw with the 52 grand. If you actually click the arrow, there's me with the 56.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
Look at that. There's the number.
There's the number.
Holy
There's
cow.
his number.
52 and 56. You took down the strongest man in the world.
Yep.
That's amazing.
If you go down. It's kind of older. There it is. Boom. That one. Yep. So there's my stats: neck force, peak velocity, human force, my hand size. If you go over, you should be able to go over, right? Oh, you're not. Oh wait. There's no. There should be. Keep going. Keep going. Down.
In 2 different technologies. We've got the power cube, which is measuring the impact forces. And then we've also got what's called a gym aware, which is a linear displacement transducer. That's the
my first pick in the same weight class is going to be Ryan Phillips.
It was just crazy to be the #1 pick on Wolverine's team. First of all, Wolverine is a slap hero to me. I'm in the house, man. This is my home. Everyone else is just living in it. This is my time. We're coming in hot. I'm going to be Dana White's best friend. I'm going to hit him on the yacht. We're going to be doing some big things, baby, with power slap.
He loved that.
Bro, that is amazing. So you were the first pick. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And by the legend that you say Wolverine too. Can we go back, Ryan, and I think it was right before the fight with Darius, where right before your primal scream, when you drop to your knees and do whatever the hell it is you're doing. I want to watch that again. I want you to tell me what you're doing there. So I think it might have been the first one, Ryan.
Don't. When it look like you ain't gonna make it, keep going. When they tell you you can't, come on, man. Who are they? When they tell you you're not gonna make it, don't believe them, man. Don't believe them. You got to be relentless. Don't give up. Don't.
Primal, bro. So what is it? Looks, are those sword, or is that a sword?
Yeah,
gesture?
I'm taking out the sword and cutting my heart out because, unfortunately, my opponents have all been friends of mine. So I'm separating myself. That's what I'm doing. I'm separating myself from the violence. I'm taking my heart and I'm getting rid of it so I can be the cold-hearted killer.
That is deep, man. Like, where did you come up with that?
I don't know. I mean,
seriously, was that something like pro wrestlers have gimmicks, and there's writers who actually come up with that stuff.
Yeah.
This is sort of gimmicky, but it's your own. And I'm like, do you write that? Did you think, all right, I want to entertain. Not only do I want to smack the taste out of somebody's mouth and show off the strongest chin in the game, but I want to make people watch. I want to make people entertained. I've got to write myself some material. Do you do stuff like that, or was that totally instinctive?
I mean, I thought about it. I do. Like I said, I want to separate myself from other performers.
Yeah.
A lot of guys just get up there, they slap, and then they get off the stage. Me, I want to make it a spectacle. I want you guys to be, invested. I want certain things that I do to catch on, but that means more to me than just showing off and trying to get eyes on me. It's I really, when I go up there on the stage, I really do think a lot about my parents, and I want them to watch over me, and when I get up there and I like I said, I unleash, and that scream, it does something to me, man. When it's a primal scream, like you said, primal.
Yeah,
it's,
you can see it.
Yeah,
you can
so
tell.
it's the animal inside me. I'm unleashing it. So as soon as I do that scream, it's game time. I'm seeing spots because I unleash all the oxygen within me, and then, I don't know. Something takes over me, man, when I'm on that stage.
Well, it is entertaining. It is. You can see how it builds up. It's going to build up a fan base for you because people they want to be able to get behind the guy, and that's knowing. In other words, what made Stone Cold Stone Cold?
Right.
It's the mic. It's the personality and the Rock, and there have been great in-ring performers who didn't have that personality. You got to have that too, and you obviously bring that. Who were like your favorite guys in terms of competitive sport or contact sports like that? Who did you like model after?
Well, yeah, with wrestling, like you said, Ric Flair. Ric Flair was a big guy,
Yep. Macho
Macho Man, of course. Hulk Hogan. I'm in the '80s, from the '80s. So those were big time wrestlers, and then you got Stone Cold, and you got who else that I liked a lot.
Well, for their mic skills, like I said, The Rock and Stone Cold
Triple
were top
H,
two. Triple H, is
Shawn
phenomenal too.
Michaels.
Yeah.
I mean, I came up the greats, the Generation X, like that.
Yep.
All that stuff was just amazing.
Attitude Era.
Right. So you watch Triple H and you watch Shawn Michaels together. That's them just riffing off each other. That's genuine. That's what I try to bring to the table. Like you keep saying, it's a character. It's a character. It's not so much a character. It's actually me. It's genuine. I love having fun. I love to have fun, whether it be with friends, whether it be up on the stage, in murder mode. It's just something that I feel like it just comes off naturally. And like I said, this sport is tailor made to me. It's something I'm excelling in, and it's something that I'm making a name in, and I just like having fun.
So the King of Kings is a combination of Halo Warrior, WWE wrestler, boxer, MMA, and what else? I feel like I'm missing
Street
something
brawler.
else. Street brawlers. You put it all
And
together,
businessman.
and it came out and a damn good one too. A marketer extraordinaire. You know how to publicize yourself. And obviously the sport. So it all comes together in the King of Kings. Now, here's the real question is, when do you get your crown, King?
Well, the belt should be coming home back to Cleveland here very soon, I hope. I'm just waiting for the call.
Well, I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to watch that. Hopefully we'll all get a chance to do that. And it's fun, man. This is so much fun. I'm so glad you came in. I hope everybody who has not known anything about slap fight knows a little bit more. Now, I know I do, and I was already a fan.
Yeah.
But I didn't know the details. I didn't know all the rules and everything else and about clubbing. But hopefully people will obviously be excited by this and tune in to hopefully whenever you get that championship belt or that crown. Tell them you don't want a belt, you want a crown. You're the king.
That's another thing. I'm going to see if Power Slap might throw me some money so I can get a custom crown.
That's what you need.
That's
what you need.
That's what I need.
Ryan Phillips, the King of Kings and Power Slap. Make sure you follow Power Slap and follow Ryan on social media. He is, what'd you say, you got 500 million views of your videos from the stuff you've done online?
I got so many views.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's insane.
That's incredible. And we're lucky to have him here on Strictly Speaking. Ryan, thanks, man.
Thank you.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
You're the man, Bob.
All right. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified for all our new videos. New episodes dropping every Tuesday morning, and we'll have some of our favorite interviews from the vault dropping on Fridays as well.